Excuse me, do you know anything about dogs?
Why?
It's awful. I just run one over. It dashed out. It's in the back of the van. I don't know what to do with it. It's not dead.
Oh, the poor thing.
There's no blood, but it can't move. Come and look.
The Collector by John Fowles, adapted for radio by David Parker, with Judi Dench as Miranda and Nigel Anthony as Clegg.
I used to see her almost every day because of her house being right opposite the town hall annex. When I had a spare moment from the files and the ledgers, I used to look down over the road, over the frosted glass, and sometimes I'd see her. In the evenings, I used to mark it down in my observations diary, the one I use for my entomological studies. At first with an X, and then when I found her name was Miranda with an M. Once, when I'd been up to the Natural History Museum, we travelled back on the same tube, and I had the privilege of watching her for 35 minutes. I used to think of her like a butterfly, a pale, clouded yellow, for instance. I used to have dreams about meeting her and doing things she'd admire, and us getting married and living in a nice modern house, and her helping me with my collection. Of course, I knew it was all just dreams. I knew she'd never be interested in me. I was outside her class. It'd probably have always been the same if it hadn't been for the money. In my opinion, most people never do the things they like to do because they haven't got the money. When you don't have any money, you always think things will be different after, but well, right from the start, I could see people, though they were respectful on the surface, they really despised me for having all that money and not knowing what to do with it. Behind the scenes, they still treated me for what I was, a clerk.
Fred's looking tired. He's been having a dirty weekend with the cabbage white.
Who was that painted lady I saw you with last night?
It was no good throwing money around. As soon as I spoke or did anything, I gave the game away. You could see them saying, "Don't you try and kid us, we know what you are. Why don't you get back where you come from?" And then one day I went into a coffee bar near the Slade School of Art, and she was standing right next to me. It was full of people, students and artists and such like. They mostly had long hair and that, and there were weird faces on the walls. It was supposed to be African, I think. I was pretending to read a paper. There was such a crush, and it was almost touching. I felt my face go all red. I stared at the words, but I couldn't read. I daren't look the smallest look, and she said to the girl behind the bar, "Jenny, I'm absolutely broke. Lend us 2 cigarettes."
Jenny?
And the girl said, "Oh, not again."
2 cigarettes.
Oh,
And she said, "Bless you."
Oh, bless you.
And, oh, I don't know, hearing her voice so near sort of turned her from a dream person into a real one. I thought I'd do anything to be able to know her, to be her friend, to watch her without spying on her. That was the day I gave myself the dream that came true. It began where she was being attacked by a man, and I ran up and rescued her. Then somehow I became the man who was attacking her. I captured her, and took her to a house in the country where I kept her prisoner in a nice kind of way. And gradually, she came to know me and like me. And now, suddenly, if she's with me, she'll see my good points. At last, the great moment was come. I opened the back of the van, and like the rest of the operation, it went according to plan. I got the straps off her, made her sit up, with her legs and feet still bound. She kicked about for a moment, so I was obliged to indicate that I would have to resort to more of the chloro and the CTC, which I showed, but that if she kept still, I wouldn't hurt her. She was not so heavy as I thought. As I carried her down the stone steps, she passed out, which I thought was a pity, because I would have liked to have had her first reactions to the room, which I'd done up very nicely, though I say it myself. After I'd got it dried out, I'd put several layers of insulating felt, and then a nice bright orange carpet fitting the walls, which were whitewashed. I got in a bed and chest of drawers, table, chairs, armchairs, etc. I got in other things, lots of art books and some novels, to make it look homely, which it finally did. I didn't risk pictures. I knew she might have advanced taste. I laid her on the bed and strapped her hands and feet. It was done. She was mine. Don't be alarmed. I'm not going to hurt you. This is your room. I've furnished it out special. There's everything you'll need. There's all the clothes and everything. And what I did was I saw an assistant who was just your size, and I gave all the colours you always wear. I told a story about a girlfriend from up north who'd had all her luggage stolen, and I wanted it to be a surprise for her, etc. Don't think they believed me in the store, but it was a good sale for them. I paid out a lot of money that day. And in here, there's a little kitchen. But don't get any ideas, because all the crockery and cutlery, etc., they're all made of plastic. And we're miles in the country, so it's no good screaming, because I shall just put the gag straight back on. You understand? But if you do as I say, I won't hurt you. All right?
Where is this? Who are you? Why have you brought me here?
I can't tell you.
I demand to be released at once. This is monstrous. Get out of my way. I'm going to leave. The key, please.
You can't go yet. Please, don't oblige me to use force again.
I don't know who you think I am. But if you think I'm some rich man's daughter and you're going to get a huge ransom, you've got an awful shock coming.
No, I know who you are. It's not money.
And don't I know who you are? The man from the town hall annex?
I don't know what you mean.
Your photo is in the papers. You won £250,000 on the football pool.
I'm only obeying orders.
Orders? Whose orders?
I can't tell you.
Whose orders?
Mr. Singleton's orders.
Mr. Singleton?
I'm not meant to tell you.
Mr. Singleton?
He'd kill me if he knew.
Mr. Singleton, the manager of the Barclays Bank in the High Street.
He's not what you think.
You mean Mr. Singleton ordered you to kidnap me?
Yes.
But I know his daughter. Oh, it's mad. You're telling me that Mr. Singleton is a sex maniac who kidnaps girls, and you help him?
I have to. I stole some money from the bank. I'd go to prison if they found out. He holds it over me, you see.
Well, why don't you pay it back out of the money you won on the pools? You'd have a good bit of change left out of £250,000. Or perhaps you just help him for the fun of it.
Oh, there's other things as well. I'm in his power.
What's he going to do to me?
I don't know.
Where is he now?
He'll be coming soon, I expect.
Oh, yes. This must be his house in Suffolk.
Yes.
He hasn't got a house in Suffolk.
You don't know. I came to ask what you'd like to eat. I could do you some bacon and eggs if you'd like.
I don't want to eat. I feel ill. And this horrid room's damp and airless. Was that chloroform you gave me?
I didn't know it would make you ill, honest.
Oh, Mr. Singleton should have told you.
I'll make you some coffee.
All you've told me about Mr. Singleton's a story. I don't believe it. He's not that sort of man, for one thing, and even if he were, he wouldn't have you working for him. He wouldn't have made all these fantastic preparations, building this kitchen and everything. You've gone to so much trouble. So, I'm your prisoner. But you want me to be a happy prisoner. So there are two possibilities. You're holding me here to ransom, or you're in a gang or something.
I'm not, I told you.
Well, you know who I am. You know my father's not rich or anything, so it can't be ransom. The only other thing is sex. You want to do something to me.
It's not that at all. I shall have all the proper respect. I'm not that sort. You take sugar?
No. Well, if it's not sex, you must be mad. Well, in a nice kind of way, of course.
Well, thank you very much. Cream?
You admit that story about Mr. Singleton isn't true?
I wanted to break it to you gently.
Break what? Rape? Murder?
I never said that.
Well, then why am I here?
I want you to be my guest.
Your guest?
I love you. It's driven me mad.
I see.
I didn't mean to say it. In my dreams, it was always... We just looked into each other's eyes and then we kissed and nothing was said till after. A chap I called Nobby in the RAPC, who knew all about women, always says, you should never tell a woman you love her, even if you did. He said, if you had to say it, you said it in a sort of joking way. That way it keeps them after you. He said you have to play it hard to get. The silly thing is, I told myself 12 times I mustn't say I love you. Just let it come natural on both sides. But when I had her there, my head went round and I often said things I didn't mean to.
October the 14th. It's the 7th night. It seems like 7 weeks. I keep on thinking the same thing. If only they knew, if only they knew. Share the outrage. My name is Miranda Grey, and I've been kidnapped by a madman, F. Clegg from Hampstead Town Hall Annex. He won £250,000 on the football pools recently. I'm a prisoner in a country house, a kind of crypt room, which is so stuffy. The walls squeeze in. I can't stand this room. Everybody will be wild with worry. A strange thing. He fascinates me. I feel the deepest contempt and loathing for him, yet he says he loves me, but how can you love someone you don't know? He wants desperately to please me. But that's what madmen must be like. They aren't deliberately mad. They must be as shocked in a way as everyone else is when they finally do something terrible. He drove me down here in a van. I think it must be about 2 hours away from Hampstead. All the way down it was a nightmare, wanting to be sick and afraid of choking under the gag, thinking I was going to be pulled into some thicket and raped and murdered. I kept on remembering Penny Lester's grisly dormitory stories about her mother surviving being raped by the Japs. I kept on thinking, don't resist. Don't resist. And then someone else once said it takes 2 men to rape you. Women who let themselves be raped by one man always want to be raped. But it's all right. Oh, I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm a terrible coward. I don't want to die. I love life so passionately. I never knew how much I wanted to live before. When I get out of this, I shall never be the same. I don't care what he does, So long as I live. The silence. I've got a little more used to it now, but it is terrible. Never the least sound. It makes me feel I'm always waiting. Every night I do something I haven't done for years. I lie and pray. I don't kneel. I know God despises kneelers. He told me he doesn't believe in God. That makes me want to believe. I better describe him. He's 6 feet tall, 8 or 9 inches more than me. Skinny, so he looks taller than he is. Gawky. His hands are too big. A nasty, fleshy, white and pink, not a man's hands. Adam's apple too big, chin much too big, underlip bitten in, edges of nostrils red. His whole face is too long. He always wears sports coat and flannels and a pinned tie. He's what people call a nice young man, and absolutely sexless. He has a way of standing with his hands behind his back as though he doesn't know what on earth to do with them. He makes me feel capricious, like I'm a dissatisfied rich customer and he's a male assistant in a draper's. He always has to talk in a roundabout way. He always has to justify himself. And when he told me how lonely he was, how desperately he loves me, well, it was awful. I just sat and listened. I couldn't look at him. I remember the very first time I met GP, he said that collectors were the worst animals of all. Well, he meant art collectors, of course. When I draw, I always think of someone like GP at my shoulder. George Paston is a very good painter friend of mine. He's 21 years older than I am. I think I need a man older than myself because I always seem to see through the boys I meet. So, you're well, what do they call people who collect butterflies?
Entomologist.
Yes. You're that, and now you've collected me.
In a manner of speaking.
No, not in a manner of speaking, literally. You've pinned me in this little room, and you can come and gloat over me. And these butterflies are my fellow victims. Actually, they're rather beautiful. All the wings stretched out at exactly the same angle, beautifully arranged. I suppose they must be rather valuable.
Oh, you can't really think of them in terms of money. I mean, well, these are the best ones in my whole collection. I mean, it might take a lifetime to get another collection like this. I caught them all myself, you see. That's the difference. I can look at each one and remember the exact day and the exact location when I caught it. Sometimes it took hundreds of hours of patience.
Well, what are those ones called?
Oh, these are my rare fritillaries. This is the heath, and this is the Glanville, but I'm proudest of these.
What are they?
Oh, they're my aberrations.
They're beautiful, but sad.
Well, everything's sad, if you make it so.
I'm thinking of all the living beauty you've ended.
I photographed them too. I'll show you. Well, they're not much. I haven't been doing it long.
They're dead. Not these particularly, all photos. When you draw something, it lives. When you photograph it, it dies.
It's like a record.
Yes. All dry and dead. They're clever. They're good photographs, as photographs go.
I'd like to take some pictures of you.
Why?
Well, you're what they call photogenic.
Well, all right, if you want to. Tomorrow. And these are your books?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of books on art, as well as butterflies. I bought them for you.
But these must have cost you a fortune.
£147. I bought every art book in the shop.
Well, since I'm to be your guest, shouldn't we introduce ourselves? The Clegg part I know. What's your first name?
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand? I suppose people call you Ferdy or Ferd.
Well, my real name's Fred, but my uncle used to call me Ferdinand, and I always rather liked it. He used to call me Lord Ferdinand Clegg, Marquis of Bugs.
He sounds as though he had a marvellous sense of humour.
Oh, yes. He was a scream.
Well, what shall I call you, Ferdy or simply Fred?
Ferdinand.
Well, sure you wouldn't prefer Ferdinand the Great?
No, just Ferdinand.
Well, look, Ferdinand, I don't know what you see in me. I don't know why you're in love with me. Well, I mean, it's possible I could fall in love with you, given time, but somewhere else. Well, you know what I mean. I do like gentle, kind men, but one thing's sure. I couldn't possibly fall in love with you in this cellar. Well, I just couldn't live in a room like this. I couldn't fall in love with anyone in here. Not ever.
I just want to get to know you, that's all.
But you can't go around kidnapping people just to get to know them. You might start a very dangerous trend.
I want to get to know you very much, and I wouldn't stand a chance in London. I'm not clever and all that. Not your class. You wouldn't be seen dead with me in London.
Well, that's not fair. I'm not a snob. I hate snobs most of all.
I'm not blaming you.
But I don't prejudge people. I mean, I actively hate snobism. Some of my best friends in London are what people would call working class, in origin.
Like Peter Catesby.
You know about him, do you? Well, as a matter of fact, I can't stand Peter Catesby or his flash sports car. As a matter of fact, he's just a middle-class suburban oaf. Look, Ferdinand, you're a nice boy. I like you, but I'm worried for your sake. Be sensible. Before it's too late. I promise, I swear that if you let me go now, I won't tell anyone. I'll arrange to meet you as often as you like. I can help you collect butterflies. And if you let me go now, I shall admire you. I'll always think, he had me at his mercy, but he was chivalrous. He behaved like a true English gentleman.
I can't.
You might go to prison for years.
Look, it'd be worth it. It'd be worth going for life.
Please, Ferdinand.
Don't ask me, I can't.
Well, how long are you going to keep me here?
Depends.
On what?
Oh.
Well, on my falling in love with you. Because if it does, I shall be here until I die. Oh, go away. Get out. Leave me alone.
Look, I just want you to understand me, if you can. And like me a little bit, if you can. Look, I'll make a bargain with you. I'll tell you when you can go away. After all, a promise is a promise, etc. But only on certain conditions. And my conditions are that you eat food and drink and talk to me. And don't try to escape or anything like that.
I can't agree to all that.
Well, which bit could you agree to?
You haven't said when I can go.
6 weeks.
Oh.
5 weeks, then.
I'll stay a week, not a day longer.
I can't agree to that.
Well...
Please, be reasonable. You know what you are to me now. Can't you see I haven't made all these arrangements just so you'd only stay a week or more?
I hate you.
I give you my word. When the time's up, you can go as soon as you like.
2 weeks.
Oh, you say 2. I say 5. I'll agree to a month. That'll be, well, just a tick. I'll just check my diary. November the 14th.
Now, let me look. Now, 4 weeks is November the 11th.
Yeah, well, I meant a calendar month.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what. We'll make it 28 days. I'll give you the odd 3 days.
Thank you very much. I must have fresh air.
If I let you out, you'll try to escape. No, it's too dangerous. Well, perhaps at night. I'll see.
What about a bath?
Well, perhaps I could fix something up.
I want a proper bath in a proper bathroom. Well, there must be one upstairs.
Oh, will you give me your parole of honour?
I give you my word of honour that I shall not try to escape.
Or signal.
Or signal.
Well,
I need a bath now. I feel filthy.
all right. I'll take a risk, but if you break your promise, I won't let you out again.
I never break promises.
I'll have to tie you up.
Oh, but that's insulting.
I wouldn't blame you if you broke your word. I went into Lewis that afternoon. Partly I wanted to see the papers. I bought the lot. All of them had something. Some of the tripe papers had quite a lot. 2 had photographs. It's funny reading the reports. There were things I didn't know before. Long-haired, blonde art student Miranda Grey, 20, who last year won a major scholarship to London's top Slade School of Art, is missing. She lived in term time at 29 Hamnet Road, NW3, with her aunt, Miss C. Vanbrugh Jones, who late yesterday night alerted the police. After class on Tuesday, Miranda phoned to say she was going to a cinema and would be home soon after 8. That was the last time she was seen. There was a big photo of her, and beside it said, "Have you seen this girl?" Another paper gave me a good laugh. Hampstead residents have been increasingly concerned in recent months about prowling wolves in cars. Piers Broughton, a fellow student and close friend of Miranda, told me in the coffee bar he often took Miranda to that she seemed perfectly happy the day of her disappearance and had arranged to go to an exhibition with him only today. He said Miranda knows what London is like. She's the last person to take a lift from a stranger or anything like that. I'm most terribly worried about all this. A spokesman of the Slade School said she is one of our most promising second-year students. We are sure there is some quite harmless explanation for her disappearance. Artistic young people have their whims. There the mystery rests. I read all the papers said. It gave me a feeling of power. I don't know why. All those people searching and me knowing the answer. When I drove on, I decided definitely I'd say nothing to her. As it happened, the first thing she asked me about when I got back was newspapers. Was there anything about her? I said I hadn't looked and I wasn't going to look. I said I wasn't interested in the papers. All they printed was a load of tripe. She didn't insist. The next day she wouldn't talk. That lunch she said not a word when I spoke to her and said I was ready to let bygones be bygones. She just gave me a big look of contempt. It was the same that evening. When I came to clear, she handed me the tray and turned away. She made it very plain she didn't want me to stay. I thought she'd get over it, but the next day it was worse. Not only she didn't speak, she didn't eat. She wouldn't say a word, wouldn't even look at me. Next day it was the same. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't speak. I'd been waiting for her to wear some of the clothes I'd bought, but she kept on wearing the white blouse and the green tartan tunic. I began to get really worried. I didn't know how long people could go on without food. She seemed pale and weak to me. She spent all the time sitting against the wall on her bed, her back turned, looking so miserable I didn't know what to do.
It's afternoon. I shall be in life class. Does the world go on? Does the sun still shine? Last night I thought, I'm dead. This is death. This is hell. There wouldn't be other people in hell, or just one like him. The devil wouldn't be devilish and rather attractive, but like him. I drew him this morning. I wanted to get his face to illustrate this, but it wasn't any good. He wanted it. He said he'd pay me 200 guineas for it. He is mad. It's me. I am his madness. For years he's been looking for something to put his madness into. And he found me. Oh, God, please help me. Please.
What is it? What's wrong?
How long have I been here?
About a week. What's the matter?
I don't know. All night Oh, I think it's appendicitis. That night when I had the bath, coming back in the cold. Oh, please fetch a doctor.
Oh, well...
I thought I was going to die in the night. Please, get a doctor. Or take me to the hospital.
I'll get you something from the chemist.
Oh, that's no good. If I die, it'll be murder. Please, get a doctor.
All right. I'll fetch a doctor. There's a house with a telephone down the lane. I'll run down.
Or take me to the hospital. It's safer for you.
And what's it matter? It's the end for me. It's goodbye. Till the police court.
Where are my blasted shoes?
Oh, I'm sorry if I frightened you. I knew you was only play acting. Talcum powder on the face and all that. You did it very well, but you didn't fool me. I knew you wasn't really...
Get out!
I'm sorry, I didn't want to upset you.
Get out! Get out, you pathetic suburban bastard! That's right, run, you coward! I hate you!
I called in with regard to your letter.
Why don't you just say I came in about your letter?
I know my English isn't correct. I tried to make it correct.
You know how the rain takes the colour out of everything? That's what you do to the English language. You blur it every time you open your mouth.
Now, you write what I say.
All right.
Here's the paper.
Thanks.
I am safe and not in danger.
More filthy English, but never mind.
You write what I say. I am being well looked after by a friend.
Oh?
Well, that's all. Just put your name.
Why can't I say Mr. Clegg sends his regards?
Very funny.
Here you are.
Well, what's this? Love, Nanda.
Oh, that's my baby name. They'll know it's me.
I prefer Miranda.
Oh, hang on. I'll do the envelope. There. Give us the letter.
No, I'll put it in. And, what's this little scrap? Kidnapped by madman. F. Clegg. Clerk from Annex who won pools. Prisoner in cellar. Lonely timbered cottage. Hilly country, 2 hours London. So far safe. Frightened. Are you frightened?
Yes.
But what have I done?
Nothing. That's why I'm frightened.
I don't understand.
I'm waiting for you to do something.
Look, I've promised and I'll promise again. You get all high and mighty because I don't take your word. I don't know why it's different for me.
I'm sorry.
I trusted you. I thought you realised I was being kind. Well, I'm not going to be used. I don't care about your letter.
Will the mysterious great master accept apologies of humble slave?
I'll think about it.
Humble slave, very sorry for unkind letter. Will you send the letter, then?
I'll think about it.
The note idea didn't work. He's so cunning. He must have felt the outline of folded paper in the envelope. I spent most of the morning thinking. About me, what will happen to me. I've never felt the mystery of the future so much as here. What will happen? It's not only now in this situation. When I get away, what shall I do? I want to marry. I want to have children. I want to prove that marriage can work. I know exactly the sort of person I want to marry. Someone with a mind like George Paston's, only much nearer my own age, and with the looks I like. I want to make beauty, and marriage and being a mother terrifies me for that reason. Getting sucked down into the house and the house things and the baby world and the child world and the cooking world and the shopping world. I have a feeling a lazy cow me would welcome it and would just become a great female cabbage. The other thing I think about is GP. When I first met him, I told everyone how marvellous he was. Then a reaction set in. I thought I was getting a silly schoolgirl hero pash on him, and the other thing began to happen. It was all too emotional. Because he's changed me more than anything or anybody. He's chipped off all my feyness. I've never been the same since he told me how he hated fey women. I even learnt the word from him. If I have a fairy godmother, please make GP 20 years younger, and please make him physically attractive to me. It's odd, but I feel happier than at any time since I came here. Because Ferdinand did nothing when I tried to escape. I mean, if he was going to attack, he surely would do it at some time when he had reason to be angry. He has tremendous self-control in some ways. He's been spending a fortune on me. Anything I want. He even buys all my underwear. That must be agony for him. I suppose he prefers to get it all over in one go. But what can they think of him? 12 pants and 3 slips and bras, please. I asked him what they said when he gave the order. He went a bit red. Talk, Ferdinand. We've known each other for 18 days now. You're always saying I never talk to you, so let's have an intelligent conversation just for a change. Tell me, what do you think about, the H-bomb?
Nothing much.
You must think something.
Why?
Look, I realise you've never lived with people who take things seriously and discuss things intellectually. Let's try again. What do you think about the H-bomb?
Well, it's obvious you can't do anything. It's here to stay. You said I could take some photographs.
Oh, take away, Ferdinand.
Well, if I said anything serious, you wouldn't take it serious. I mean, we can't do anything.
You don't care what happens to the world?
Well, what did it matter if I did?
Oh, God.
Well, we don't have any say in things.
Look, if enough of us believe the bomb is wicked and that a decent nation could never think of having it, whatever the circumstances, then the government would have to do something, wouldn't they?
I don't see why.
Well, how do you think Christianity started? Or anything else? With a little group of people who didn't give up hope.
What would happen if the Russians came then?
Well, if it's a choice between dropping bombs on them or having them here as our conquerors, then the second every time.
Oh, that's pacifism.
Oh, of course it is, you great lump. Do you know I've walked all the way from Aldermaston to London?
Oh, you're not one of those.
I've given up hours and hours of my time to collect money, or to address envelopes, distribute leaflets, argue with miserable people like you who don't believe in anything.
Why?
It's despair at the lack of love in the world. It's despair at the lack of feeling, of reason in the world. It's despair that anyone can even contemplate the idea of being so materialistic that they'll destroy our environment. It's despair that so few of us care. It's despair that perfectly normal young men can be made vicious and evil because they've won a lot of money and then do what you've done to me.
Oh, I thought we'd get onto that.
Well, you're part of it. Everything free and decent in life is being locked away in filthy cellars by pathetic little people who don't care.
You try having a demonstration in Russia. See what happens then.
Oh, don't be so wet.
Well, demonstrations are just a waste of time. There's nothing we can do.
You haven't caught up with yourself. You're rich now. You've got power. You could use it for good.
The money doesn't make all that much difference.
Well, nobody can order you about it anymore.
Oh, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. I know you're not a Ted, but deep down you feel like me. You hate being an underdog. You hate not being able to express yourself properly. You sit and sulk. You say, I won't help the world. I won't do the smallest thing for humanity. I just think of myself and humanity can go and stew for all I care. Well, what good do you think money is if it's not used? Well, do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Well?
Oh, you're right, as always.
Are you being sarcastic?
It's like my Auntie Annie. I got a letter from her today. She's always going on about the way people behave these days, long hair and all that.
Look, for the sake of argument, we'll say that however much good you try to do in society, in fact, you'd never do any good. Now, that's ridiculous, but never mind. There's still yourself. I don't think the campaign for nuclear disarmament has much chance of actually affecting the government. It's one of the first things you have to face up to. But we do it to keep our self-respect, to show we care. Well, say something.
I know it's evil.
Well, do something there. Oh, go away. You exhaust me. You're like a sea of cotton wool.
No, I do like to hear you talk, and I do think about the things you say.
No, you don't. You put what I say in your mind, wrap it up, and it disappears forever.
Look, if I wanted to send a cheque to this lot, what's the address?
To buy my approval.
Well, what's wrong with that?
We need money, but we need feeling even more, and I don't think you've got any feeling to give away, and you can't win that by filling in a football coupon.
I think my chequebook must be upstairs.
Is that a letter from your aunt?
Oh, yes. Oh, could you oblige just by turning your head and looking over there? I want a profile. Well, you ought to go in for beauty comps.
Oh, thank you.
Bet you look smashing in a whatchamacallit.
What kind of a whatchamacallit?
Oh, one of those French swimming things.
What, a bikini? Is that what you mean?
To photograph?
Tell me about your family.
Oh, nothing that'd interest you.
That's not an answer.
It's like I said.
As I said.
As I said. You know, I used to be told I was good at English. That was before I knew you.
It doesn't matter.
Can I go on photographing?
Oh, fire away. Tell me about your father.
He was a representative, stationery, fancy goods. I told you before.
A commercial traveller.
Oh, they call them representatives now.
Oh, yes. He got killed in a car crash, didn't he?
He was drunk.
Your mother went off with another man, didn't she?
Yes. She was no good. Like me.
So your aunt took you over?
Yeah.
Like Mrs. Joe and Pip?
Pardon?
Forget it.
Well, she's all right. She kept me out of the orphanage.
And your cousin Mabel, you never say anything about her?
Well, she's deformed. Spastic. Real sharp.
She can't walk?
Only round the house. We had to take her out in the chair.
Maybe I've seen her.
You haven't missed much if you haven't.
Well, aren't you sorry for her?
Well, it's like... Oh, I can't explain it.
Go on.
Well, she sort of makes everything round her deformed too. I mean, well, she doesn't complain outright. It's just the look she gives. And you have to be dead careful. I mean, suppose I say not thinking one evening, I nearly missed the bus tonight, I had to run like Billy-O. Well, sure as fate, Aunt Annie would say, you think yourself lucky you can run. And Mabel wouldn't say anything, she'd just look.
How vile.
Oh, you had to think very careful about everything you said.
Carefully.
Carefully.
Why didn't you run away, live in digs?
I used to think about it.
Because they were two women on their own and you were being a gent.
Being a Charlie, more like it.
And now they're in Australia making your other relations miserable.
I suppose so.
Read me that letter.
Well, what for?
I'm interested.
Well, they're stupid.
Never mind, read it now.
Dear Fred. Oh, that's what she calls me, because she doesn't like Ferdinand. Very pleased to have yours, and as I said in my last, it's your money. God has been very kind to you, and you mustn't fly up in the face of his kindness, and I wish you had not taken this step. Your uncle says property's more trouble than it's worth. Notice you don't answer my letter about the woman to clean. I know what men are, and just remember they say cleanliness is next to godliness. I have no right, and you have been very generous, Fred. Uncle Steve and the boys and Gertie can't understand why you didn't come here with us. Gertie only said this morning you ought to be here. Your place is with us, but don't think we are not grateful. This has been a great experience, and you wouldn't know, Mabel. And you wouldn't know Mabel. She's brown in the sun here. It is very nice, but I don't like the dust. Everything gets very dirty and they live in a different way to what we do at home. And I shan't be sorry to get home to Blackstone Road. I hope you did what I said and aired all the rooms and linen like I said and got in a good cleaning woman like I said. It's not very interesting, is it? I mean, it just goes on like that, you know.
Finish it.
And, well, then she says I needn't worry about the money. It's lasting well. And then she hopes I get a woman who will work. She says the young ones don't clean proper nowadays. Your ever-loving Auntie Annie.
Do you think that's a nice letter?
Well, she always writes like that.
Makes me want to be sick.
Well, she never had a proper education.
It's not her English, it's a nasty, mean mind.
Well, she took me in.
She certainly did. She took you in and she's gone on taking you in. Oh, God, I'm bored. Would do something. Amuse me.
What?
Well, I don't know. Sing. Dance. Anything.
Well, I can't sing or dance.
And tell all the funny stories you know.
Don't know any funny stories.
I thought all men knew dirty jokes.
I wouldn't tell you one of those, even if I did.
Why not?
Well, they're for men.
Oh? What do you think women talk about? I'll bet you I know more dirty jokes than you do.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, you're like Mercury. You won't be picked up. Come on! Wake up! Bang, 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 bang! And now, for your further entertainment, a spot of balancing.
Hey, there's ash in that ashtray. You ought to know better.
You ought to know better.
Oh, now look.
Oh, let go of my arm. Let go. Get me the dustpan and brush. I'll sweep it up.
Oh, it's all right.
Look, I want to.
I'll do it.
It's your fault.
Yes, of course.
Look at you on your knees. You're the most perfect specimen of petit bourgeois squareness I've ever met.
Am I?
Yes, you are. You despise the bourgeois classes for their snobbishness, but all you have to put in its place is a horrid little refusal to have nasty thoughts or do nasty things. Do you know that every great thing in the history of art is actually what you would call nasty, or has been caused by feelings you'd call nasty, by passion, by love, by hatred? Do you know that?
I'm sure you're right, as always.
Oh, why do you keep on using those stupid words? Nasty, nice, proper, right. Why are you so worried about what's proper? You're like a little old maid who thinks sex is dirty and everything except weak cups of tea in a stuffy room is dirty. Why do you take all the life out of life? Why do you kill all the beauty?
You tell me.
Well, you can change. You've got money. You could help people that way. You could collect pictures instead of massacring butterflies like a stupid schoolboy.
Some very clever people collect butterflies.
Clever? And what have you done? You've had a dream, the sort I suppose little boys have and masturbate about, and you fall over yourself to be nice to me because you won't admit that the whole business of me being here is nasty, nasty, nasty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're so stupid! It's that aunt of yours, she's made an absolute fool of you.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, she has.
Oh, you're right. As per
Oh,
usual.
don't say that!
Well, she never bossed me about half as much as you do.
I don't boss you, I try to teach
Oh,
you.
yes. You teach me to think like you and despise her. And soon you'll be leaving me and I'll have no one.
Now you're pitying yourself.
It's the one thing you don't understand. You've only got to walk into a room full of people and you can talk with anyone, but when I do it...
Shut up! You're ugly enough without starting to whine. I'm sorry. You're trembling.
I suppose you wouldn't believe me if I said I was suddenly very happy, would you? Just because you think I don't feel things properly. I do have deep feelings. I just can't express them like you can, that's all.
Just because you can't express your feelings doesn't mean they're not deep.
I just want you to understand how much I love you. How much I need you. How deep it is. I mean, you know, it's an effort, I mean, some people with you, like this.
I want to say something.
Look,
You wanted to kiss me then, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
First of all, I want to thank you for not doing so, because I don't want you to kiss me. I realise I'm at your mercy.
It won't happen again.
Well, if it does happen again, and worse, I want you to promise me something.
It won't happen again.
Not to do it in a mean way. Don't knock me unconscious or drug me again or anything. I shan't struggle. I'll let you do what you like.
It won't happen again. I've forgot myself.
Well, the thing is, if you ever do anything like that, I shall never speak to you again. You understand?
I wouldn't expect anything else.
Relax. You're so on edge.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God, don't just stare at the floor. Look, I'll tell you a fairy story. Once upon a time, there was an ugly monster who captured a princess and put her in a dungeon in his castle. Every evening she said, "You are very ugly, you monster." And the monster looked very hurt and sad and stared at the floor. So one evening, the princess said, "If you do this thing and that thing, you might be handsome." But the monster said, I can't. Now, every evening it was the same. So the princess began to think that he really enjoyed being a monster and very ugly. And then one day she saw he was crying when she told him for the 50th time that he was ugly. So she said, "Then set me free." And he set her free. And suddenly he wasn't ugly any more. He was a prince who had her bewitched. And he followed her out of the castle, and they lived happily ever afterwards. Well, now, it's your turn to tell a fairy story.
I love you.
October the 30th. He can make me feel small and mean. Always sneering at him, jabbing him, hating him, and showing it. It was funny. We sat in silence, facing each other. And I had a feeling, I've had once or twice before, of the most peculiar closeness to him. Not love or attraction or sympathy in any way, but linked destiny. Well, like being shipwrecked on an island, on a raft together, in every way not wanting to be together, but together. On that happy note, I think I'll get ready for bed. I feel the sadness of his life too terribly. And those of his miserable aunt and his cousin and their relatives in Australia. The great, dull, hopeless weight of it. Like those Henry Moore drawings of the people in the tubes during the Blitz. People who would never see, who dance, draw, cry at music. Or never be, in any real sense. Just those 3 words said and meant. I love you. They were quite hopeless. He said it as he might have said, I have cancer. As I knew I would and could, I coaxed and bullied him, and he wrote CND a cheque for £100.
You seem nervous. Have I done anything to upset you?
No. Ferdinand, hasn't this gone on long enough?
No.
Won't you let me go now?
No.
But you could gag me and tie me, drive me back to London. I'll never tell a soul.
No.
Well, there must be something you want to do with me.
I just want to be with you. All the time.
In bed?
I told you, no.
If I let you make love to me? Or seduced you even?
I'd rather not talk about it. I don't allow myself to think about things like that.
You're really weird.
Thank you very much.
If you let me go, I'd want to see you because you interest me so much.
Like going to the zoo.
To try to understand you.
You'll never do that.
Well, please, Ferdinand, I'd like to try.
All right. I'll think about it.
You're lucky, having no parents. Mine have only kept together because of my sister and me.
How do you know?
Because my mother told me, and my father. My mother's a bitch, a nasty, ambitious, middle-class bitch, and she drinks.
I heard.
I could never have friends to stay.
I'm sorry.
My father's weak, though I love him very much. Do you know what he said to me one day? He said, I don't know how two such bad parents could have produced two such good daughters. Well, he was thinking of my sister. She's the really clever one.
Oh, you're the really clever one. You won a big scholarship.
Well, I'm a good draftsman. I might become a very clever artist, but I shan't ever be a great one. Or at least, I don't think so.
Well, you can't tell.
Well, I'm not egocentric enough. I'm a woman, and I have to lean on something. Are you queer? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Lots of good men are. And you want to lean on me. I can feel it. I expect it's your mother. You're looking for your mother.
Oh, I don't believe in all that stuff.
We'd never be any good together. We both want to lean.
Well, you could lean on me, financially.
And you on me for everything else? God forbid. October the 30th. A lovely night walk. I made him take me round and round 10 or 12 times. The branches rustling. An owl hooting in the woods. And the sky all wild. Hopes. The sea. I'm sure I could smell the sea. I said, later, of course, I was gagged outside, are we near the sea? And he said 10 miles. I said, near Lewis? He said, I can't say. As if someone else had strictly forbidden him to speak.
An aeroplane.
No!
Something like an aeroplane. No. Something to do with flying.
Yes.
Yes. A bird. Bird. Robin? Robin Redbreast.
Butterfly, you idiot!
Oh.
Come on, let's dance. I'll turn up the volume.
I can't dance.
Try! Ole! What are you going to do when I've gone?
I don't think about it.
You go on seeing me?
Of course.
You're definitely going to come and live in London. We'll meet some really interesting people.
And you'd be ashamed of me with all your friends.
Oh, I've got lots of friends. And you know why? Because I'm never ashamed of them. All sorts of people. You aren't the strangest by a long way.
Everything I've got is yours. I don't expect anything. I don't expect you to do anything you don't want. You could do what you like, study art, etc. I wouldn't ask anything. Except to be my wife, in name only, and live in the same house with me. Well, you could even have your own bedroom, and lock it every night.
But that's a horrible idea.
I suppose you're in love with that Piers Broughton.
Well, how do you know about him?
I read it in the papers. It said you was unofficially engaged.
Oh, he's the last person in the world I'd marry. I'd rather marry you.
Well, then why can't it be?
Well, because I can't marry a man that I don't feel I belong to in all ways.
I belong to you.
But you don't. Belonging's two things. One who gives and one who accepts what is given. I can't give you anything because I don't love you.
Now, that changes everything then, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
Well, all right. I'll marry you. I'll marry you as soon as you like.
Ha ha.
Well, isn't that what you wanted me to say?
I suppose you think I don't know you need witnesses and all that. You know, I just don't trust you one little bit. You think I don't see through all that
Look,
soft-stoked
Ferdinand.
stuff? Don't Ferdinand
Now,
me.
you promised you can't break your promise.
I can do what I like.
But I don't know what you want of me. How can I prove I'm your friend if you never give me a chance of doing so?
Shut up.
I'm going to kill you.
The next day she was very quiet. Not a word. I got the planks up and everything ready, and sure enough she showed she was all ready when she had had her walk, all in silence that time. So I gagged and corded her and took her upstairs, and she had her bath, and then she came out, and waited to be gagged and put her hands out to be tied again. I always went out of the kitchen first with my hand on her just in case, but there was a step there. I fell over it once myself. Perhaps that was it. When she fell, it seemed natural, and natural that the brushes and bottles and things she carried and a towel, her hands were done in front, so she always carried things up against her front, that they should fall out with a noise on the path. She got up all innocent, bending and rubbing her knees, and like a proper fool I knelt down to pick the stuff up. Of course I kept a hand on her dressing gown, but I took my eyes off her, which was fatal. Next thing I knew was I got a blow on the side of the head. Luckily my shoulder, or rather my coat collar, took most of the force. Anyway, I fell sideways, half to try and escape the next attack. I was off balance and couldn't reach her arms, though I still held on to her dressing gown. I could see her with something in her hands. I suddenly knew it was the old odd jobs axe I used in the garden only that morning, where a branch came away off one of the old apple trees with the wind the night before. I knew like a flash I'd slipped at last, left it out on the sill of the kitchen window, and she must have spotted it. Just one mistake, and you lose everything.
He never turns his back on me. Besides, there's no weapon. So I thought, I've got to get upstairs and find something, some means. I had several ideas. Otherwise, I was afraid I would fall into the old trap of pitying him. So I was a bit nicer at supper time and said I needed a bath, which I did. And he went away and came back and we went up. And there, it seemed a sign. Specially left for me was a small axe. It was on the kitchen windowsill, which is next to the door. He must have been chopping wood outside and forgotten to hide it. We passed indoors too quickly for me to do anything. But I lay in the bath and thought. I decided it must be done. I had to catch up the axe and hit him with the blunt end, knock him out. I hadn't the least idea where on the head was the best place to hit or how hard it had to be. Then I asked to go straight back. As we went out through the kitchen door, I dropped my talcum powder and things and stood to one side towards the windowsill, as if I was looking to see where they'd gone. He did just what I wanted and bent forward to pick them up. I wasn't nervous. I picked the axe up very neatly. I didn't scrape the blade, and it was the blunt end. But then, it was like waking out of a bad dream. I had to hit him, and I couldn't, but I had to. And then he began to straighten up. All this happened in a flash, really, and I did hit him. But he was turning, and I didn't hit straight or hard enough. I mean, I lashed out in a panic at the last moment. He fell sideways, but I knew he wasn't knocked out. He still kept hold of me. And I suddenly felt I had to kill him, or he would kill me. I hit him again, but he had his arm up, and at the same time he kicked out and knocked me off my feet. It was too horrible, panting, straining, like animals. And suddenly I knew it. I don't know. Undignified. It sounds absurd, but that was it. Like a statue lying on its side, or like a fat woman trying to get up off the grass. We got up. He pushed me roughly towards the door, keeping a tight hold of me. But that was all. I had a funny feeling it was the same for him. Disgusting. Ferdinand?
Yes?
I want you to help me.
Carry on.
I've got a friend. Oh, a girl. Who's got a man in love with her.
Oh, yes.
He's so much in love with her, he's kidnapped her.
What a coincidence.
Isn't it? Well, she wants to be free again. This girl doesn't know what to do. Well, what would you advise?
Patience.
What must happen before he'll release her?
Anything might happen.
All right, don't let's play games. Tell me what I must do to be set free. Now, marriage is no good. You can't trust me.
Yet.
Well, if I went to bed with you? Well?
Not like we are now.
What are we like now?
I thought you were supposed to be the clever one.
You feel I'm just looking for a way to escape? That whatever I did would be just for that?
Yes.
Well, if you felt I was doing it for some other reason, just for kicks...
I can buy what you're talking about in London any time I like.
Then you haven't got me here because you find me sexually attractive?
I find you very attractive. The most.
Well, kiss me then. Well, not like that.
I don't want to.
Why not?
I might go too far.
So might I.
Well, you know what I am.
Well, what are you?
Not the sort you like.
Don't you know there are times when every man is attractive?
I didn't.
Well, then.
It's what it could lead to.
Well, I don't care what it leads to. You are slow. Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is.
Come on, then, try. Am I the first girl you've ever kissed?
Don't be daft.
Just relax. Don't be nervous. Don't be ashamed. Put the lights out. Let's just have the firelight.
All right.
Am I hurting you?
Yes.
Ferdinand? What's wrong? Won't you undo my hands? There's nothing to be frightened of.
I'm not frightened.
Well, come here, then. Come on.
It's not right. You're only pretending.
Am I?
You know you are.
Come here. Look at me. Am I nice?
Yes.
Just relax.
You've got nothing on.
Do you like my hair loose? See? Let's do it.
No. Please.
You can't make love properly. It doesn't matter. It happens to lots of men. Doesn't it please you when I touch you? Well, you seem to like it when I kissed you.
It's when it gets past the kissing, it's not your fault. I'm not like other people. I dream about it, but it can't ever be real.
Who told you that?
Doctor. Psychiatrist.
What sort of dreams did you have about me?
All sorts.
No sexy ones?
I'd be holding you. That's all. You'd be asleep. With the wind and the rain outside, or something like that.
Would you like to try that now?
It wouldn't do any good. I wish you never started this.
Well, why do you think I did it? Just to escape?
Not love.
You must realize I've sacrificed all my principles because I want to help you. To show you that sex... Well, sex is just an ordinary activity. People jeer and titter and make it dirty, but it's not. Anything two people do in love isn't dirty. Well, I did something for you I've never done for any man. I think you owe me something.
What?
Well, at least try to understand.
Yes.
Is that all you've got to say?
I don't feel like talking.
Well, you could have told me. You could have stopped me at the very beginning.
You hated me before, and now I suppose you despise me as well.
I pity you. I pity you for what you are and for not understanding. We've been naked in front of each other. We can't be further apart.
I was like mad when I got out. I can't explain. I didn't sleep the whole night. It kept on coming back to me. Standing there and lying there with no clothes on. The way I acted and what she must think. I could see her laughing at me down there. Every time I thought about it, it was like my whole body went red. I didn't want the night to end. I wanted it to stay dark forever. I walked about upstairs for hours. In the end, I got the van out and drove down to the sea. I didn't care what happened. I could have done anything. I could have killed her. It was almost like she was stupid, plain stupid. Of course, she wasn't really. It was just that she didn't see how to love me in the right way. She was like all women. She had a one-track mind. I never respected her again.
Please don't let me die. Daddy. Daddy, please help me.
Very good. Quite convincing.
Daddy. Oh, please help me, Daddy. I got pneumonia. I can't breathe. I'm so scared I'm going to die. These last days and nights. Oh, please.
Look, I've got some aspirin, some vitamin tablets and a bottle of whiskey. It's only a bad attack of flu. You'll feel better in the morning. You'll be better off in bed. Come on.
Oh, please. Oh, God. Oh, I've got such a pain in my lungs.
Yes.
I can't breathe, please. Please, it's so stifling. Open the door, please.
Oh, yes. We've all heard that one before. There's plenty of air in here. Now, come on. Take these.
Please, Daddy, doctor. I can't breathe.
Will you let me take some photographs if I fetch the doctor? If I put the lights out like the other night?
Oh, God.
You did it once. You can do it again. You see, I've got to protect myself. Then I can let you go. I must have some photos of you, what you'd be too ashamed to let anyone else see. And you've got to look as if you enjoy posing. You've got to pose the way I tell you. And then you wouldn't dare tell anyone else. There's nothing obscene, just art photos. I'm only asking you to do what you did the other night without asking.
Oh, it's like a lunatic asylum.
You did it once, you can do it again. Look. I'm opening the door. Look. I've left the door open so you can get some air.
Oh, please. Oh, please. You're not a human being. Look. I'm not acting.
Oh, no, you've never acted in your life, of course not.
Oh, God, you're not a man. If only you were a man.
Say that again.
I said you're not a man.
All right. Get out of bed. Go on. Get up. From now on, I give the orders. I had the cords in my pocket, and after a bit of a struggle, I got them on her, and then the gag. It was her own fault if they were tight. I got her on a short rope, tied to the bed, and then I went and fetched the camera and flash equipment. She struggled, of course. She shook her head. She looked daggers with her eyes, as they say. She even tried to go all soft, but I kept at her. I got her garments off, and at first she wouldn't do as I said, but in the end she lay and stood like I ordered. I refused to take if she didn't cooperate. So I got my pictures. I took her till I had no more bulbs left.
No pity. No God. I shouted at him and he went mad. I was too weak to stop him. Bound and gagged me and took his beastly photographs. I don't mind the pain. The humiliation.
I did what he wanted. To get it over, I don't mind for myself anymore. But oh God, the beastliness of it all. I'm crying. I'm crying. I will not give in. I will not give in.
I went into Lewis to a doctor I'd never been to. I saw on the door surgery began at 8:30, and I ought to have guessed there'd be a lot of people as usual, but for some reason I just saw myself going in and seeing the doctor right off. I must have looked daft in the room with all the people looking at me. I hadn't the nerve to go straight through to the doctor. If I could have gone straight in, I'd have done it. Everything would have been all right. It was having to be with all those people in that room. They all seemed to look at me, so I thought I'd come back later. It wasn't that I didn't try. What I did was I went to a chemist's and said I wanted something for very bad flu. I told the assistant I had a friend who had pneumonia, perhaps, and I had to give him something secretly. Unfortunately, the boss came up at that moment and he said I must see a doctor and explain the case. I said I'd pay anything, but it didn't do any good. I tried 2 other chemists, but they both said the same, so I just bought some aspirins and stuff. Then I went back. I could hardly drive. I was so tired. I went down to her room and listened, but I couldn't hear any noise, so I thought I'd let her sleep. Then I went upstairs to my room and just flaked out. I must have been really tired because it was dark when I woke up. I went down to see her again to see if she'd drink a cup of tea, and I couldn't get her to answer me. She was breathing faster than ever. It was terrifying the way she panted. She seemed to catch at the air as if she could never get it fast enough. I shook her, but she seemed asleep, although her eyes were open. Her face was very livid. Well, I felt really frightened. I could see things were definitely worse by the way she was sweating, and her face was terrible. Well, at last, having locked her door in case, I set off again to the doctor. I was just sitting there in the dark, trying to get my story right, when there was a tapping on the van window.
Good evening, sir. Just wondering what you're doing here at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, don't tell me it's no parking, Constable.
Depends what your business is. May I see your driving licence?
Oh, yes. Here you are.
Uh-huh. Yes. Seems okay. Do you mind telling me what brings you out at this time of night? Do you live here?
No.
I can see you don't. That's why I'm asking what you're doing here.
Oh, I haven't done anything. You can look in the back of the van if you like.
If you don't mind, sir. Yes, it seems to be empty. You still haven't answered my question.
I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd have a drive around. Of course, I got lost. I was just sitting here wondering what to do.
Well, if you take my advice, turn round and head north till you get to the roundabout. Then follow the signposts. That'll take you home.
Oh, thank you very much. Good night, Constable. Silly old fool. Couldn't have been much good, or he wouldn't have still been a constable. Anyway, the result of all that was I couldn't go to the doctor's, not with him watching me. Anyway, I felt really fed up. When I got home, I just sat for hours thinking about the way things turned out. Thinking about my rotten life and her life and everything else. I couldn't do anything. I wanted her to live, but I couldn't risk getting her help. I was beaten. Anyone would have seen it. It made me feel really angry.
December. If only I knew what I'd done. Words are useless. I won't die. I won't die. Dear GP, this... Oh, God. Oh, God, do not let me die. God, don't let me die. Do not let me die.
She was lying with her head to one side, and it looked awful. Her mouth was open and her eyes staring white, like she tried to see out of the window one last time. I felt her, and she was cold, though her body was still warm. I ran and got a mirror. I knew that was the way, and held it over her mouth, but there was no mist. She was dead. Well, I shut her mouth up and got the eyelids down. I didn't know what to do then, so I went and made myself a cup of tea. It was then I got the idea. It kept on coming back, this feeling that she was lucky to be done with it all. No more hiding, no more things you want to be and won't ever be, but finished. The lot. All I had to do was kill myself. Then the others could think what they liked, Aunt Annie and Mabel, all of them. I'd be out of it. I started thinking how I could do it. How I could go into Lewis as soon as the shops opened and get a lot of aspirin and some flowers. Chrysanths were her favourite. Then take the aspirin and go down with the flowers and lie beside her. Post a letter first to the police, so they would find us down there together. Together, in the great beyond. We'd be buried together, like Romeo and Juliet. It would be a real tragedy. Not sordid. I'd get some proper respect if I did it. If I destroyed the photos, that's all there was. People would see I never did anything nasty to her. It would be truly tragic. I thought it out, and then I went and got the photos and the negatives all ready to burn first thing in the morning. It was like I had to have some definite plan. Anything, so long as it was definite. There was the money, but I didn't care anymore. Aunt Annie and Mabel would get it. About 3 o'clock, I dozed off. So, I went up to get a last sleep. I lay in bed, seeing it all. The going into Lewis when I woke up, coming back, having a bonfire, locking up, one last look at my collection, and then going down. She was waiting for me down there. I would say we were in love in the letter to the police. A suicide pact. It would be the end. As it happened, things turned out rather different. I didn't wake up till after 10. It was a lovely morning. The country round Lewis is very pretty. I also thought I was acting as if I'd killed her, but she died. After all, a doctor could have done little good, in my opinion. It was too far gone. Another thing, that morning in Lewis is a real coincidence. I was just driving to the flower shop when a girl in an overall crossed the street where I stopped to let people over. Well, for a moment it gave me a turn. I thought I was seeing a ghost. She had the same hair, except it was not so long. I mean, she was the same size. She had the same way of walking as Miranda. I couldn't take my eyes off her, and I just had to park the car and go back where I had the good fortune to see her going into the Woolworths, where I followed and found She works behind the sweet counter. The day's passed. It's now 3 weeks since all that. Of course, I shall never have a guest again, although now Aunt Annie and Mabel have decided to stay down under, it wouldn't be difficult. Still, as a matter of interest, I have since been looking into the problems there would be with the girl in Woolworths. She lives in a village the other side of Lewis from here, in a house a quarter of a mile or so from the bus stop. You have to go along a country lane to get to it. As I say, it would be possible, if I hadn't learnt my lesson. She isn't as pretty as Miranda, of course. In fact, she's only an ordinary common shop girl, but that was my mistake before, aiming too big. I ought to have seen that I could never get what I wanted from someone like Miranda with all her la-di-da ideas and clever tricks. I ought to have got someone who would respect me more. Someone ordinary I could teach. She's in the box I made, under the apple trees. It took me 3 days to dig the hole. I thought I'd go mad the night I did it. Went down and got her into the box I'd made and outside. I don't think many could have done it. I did it scientifically. I planned what had to be done and ignored my natural feelings. I couldn't stand the idea of having to look at her again. I once heard they go green and purple in patches, so I went in with a cheap blanket I bought in front of me and held it out till I was by the bed and then threw it over the deceased. I rolled it up and all the bedclothes into the box and soon had the lid screwed on. I got round the smell with the fumigator and the fan. The room's cleaned out now and as good as new. I shall put what she painted and her hair up in the loft in the deed box, which will not be opened until my death, so I don't expect for 40 or 50 years. I've not made up my mind about marrying. Another M, I heard the supervisor call her name. This time it won't be love, it would just be for the interest of the thing and to compare them and also the other thing, which, as I say, I would like to go into in more details. And I could teach her how. And the clothes would fit. Of course, I'd make it clear from the start who's boss and what I expect. But it's still just an idea. I only put the stove down there today because the room needs drying out anyway.
That was The Collector by John Fowles, adapted for radio by David Parker, with Judi Dench as Miranda and Nigel Anthony as Clegg. Other parts were played by Douglas Blackwell, Martin Friend, Jane Knowles and John Rowe. The play was produced by Richard Wortley.